On this episode of Game of the Month for May, we will be discussing Zero Escape, the Nonary games, but before we talk about that, we are in a new month, so make sure to download and play Operation Tango, Virtua Fighter 5, Ultimate Showdown, Star Wars Squadrons, and we already did Plus Club for May as well, so make sure to check that out if you are curious about what we had to say on the games for May. You can listen to us in audio form on iTunes, Spotify, and other podcast platforms if you prefer that. And we have a Patreon if you'd like to support this channel further than liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing if you're brand new. All right, let's get into it. What's going on, guys? Welcome to May's episode of Game of the Month, the show where we pick a game at random every month, and at the end of the month, we talk about it. My name's Seth, and joining me today is Chevy and Chris. Chris is up in the box. Chevy's the one with the hat on. That's not me. And yeah, it was a spicy day today. How are you guys doing after that?
I'm fucking tired, man.
I feel it. It's a good answer.
I like it. It's like being in San Diego again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind the heat. I think it's like 86 degrees. That's what I heard. That was the peak today, so not super hot, but it hasn't been 86 degrees lately, and it decided to be that, and so I was sweating a little bit more than I wanted to be today, but yeah, feel a little drained from it. But I like the warm weather too. It all starts getting to like 95, 96 and up. That's where it starts getting a little too hot for me.
Fuck, anything above 70 is too hot for me.
Yeah. A lot of people in Washington are like that. I don't mind it. I used to hate the hot weather when I was younger, but I've kind of acclimated to it somehow. So.
Well, the worst part is like Friday at work, it was like in the 50s and raining.
Yeah.
And then I've been indoors all weekend because I'm a fucking introvert.
Yeah.
I'm swearing a lot this episode. I apologize. And
you're sitting next to me. You don't have to apologize for anything.
apologizing to the algorithm.
Oh. Fuck the algorithm.
And then today was 80 something. So that's a huge jump.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a spicy day.
And it's just going to drop again by the end of the week because the state just does what it wants all the time.
Yep. For sure. But yeah, anything else going on with you guys other than it was kind of a spicy day?
I've been living in Pokemon.
If it was Tastecast, we could explore that a bit. I've been living in ESO. Stay tuned this weekend. We got Tastecast coming up. But we had a game to talk about, which is Zero Escape, the Nonary games. More specifically, 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors, 999, which is one of the 2 games on that, which I guess is the first of a trilogy. But before we talk about that game, which I'm thrilled to have this discussion, we have to pick a new game of the month for June. So the way this works, for anybody who doesn't know, is we have a list of back burner games, all with numbers next to them, and I'm going to hit a random number generator, and whatever it lands on, we will check the list, and whatever number it correlates with will be our game of the month for June. So you guys ready for this?
Sure.
All right, let's do this. I am clicking the button right now. It is randomly generating. I'm clicking a lot of times because I want to be extra random. And I'm going to stop clicking in 3, 2, 1, now. 10. The number is 10. And on the list, 10 is Minecraft.
Perfect.
All right. So we're going to be playing Minecraft.
Yes.
You guys have been playing Minecraft.
To pay for a server.
So I guess I will be playing Minecraft this month. I guess that's the big change, is I'll be playing Minecraft this month.
Well, I haven't been playing it, and I've been keep telling myself, I'm like, I pay for a server, I need to get in there. So that's really convenient.
So I pretty much got it. What do you guys think? You guys excited?
I mean, I'm already playing it, so.
It's perfect.
I got projects in mind I need to finish.
Yeah, I got a couple I started, so.
And I'm just gonna as soon as I start playing the game, I'll be into it. I just mentally I have not been in a Minecraft mood for like 2 months, and I'm sure that'll change as soon as I start playing because I've always liked Minecraft. It's just kind of off my radar now.
Yeah, there's a lot you haven't seen since last time you played.
Virtually like 85% of everything you guys talk about, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that is.
Yeah, and if you want, we can respawn the dragon if you want to do the boss fight. So
We'll get there.
Well, I'm just bringing it up. So.
We'll get there as we get there. But we will be playing Minecraft throughout June, so make sure to download that and play that and come back at the end of the month for Game of the Month, where we will be discussing and reviewing, I think for the first time ever on the channel, Minecraft. It's pretty cool. I'm excited. All right. So yeah, we have a game to talk about, Zero Escape, the Nonary games. We all played it to different degrees, I'm sure. And yeah, if you guys didn't get a chance to play it, Zero Escape, the Nonary games, it is a interactive novel/puzzle game, essentially a Japanese version of Saw, kind of anime-esque, where I'm going to keep it vague because the game is full of twists and turns, and it is always trying to keep you on your toes and trying to figure out what's happening next, so I can't talk about too much, but it's essentially a game where you play as a dude named Junpei, who wakes up randomly on what seems to be a ship that has water pouring in, and there are hazards and puzzles involved, trying to figure out why you're there, how to escape. It's essentially an escape room game. And yeah, you run into other characters, you talk with those characters, you try to figure out what the fuck is going on, and try and survive the Nonary games and escape Zero. We all played it, and let's start with Chevy. What are your impressions of Zero Escape, the Nonary games?
Gotta be kind of careful because story-based game, so it's gonna be really
I'm not
easy.
gonna almost talk nothing about story, because this whole game is like, if we talk a little bit past the first room, you're already in spoiler territory.
Yeah. So I knew it was going to be a story game when we started it, but that was the extent of my knowledge of the game. And so getting into the game and finding out that it was essentially like a Saw-like scenario, that was kind of intriguing to begin with. And then going through and doing the type of puzzles I was expecting in this kind of game initially, I was kind of like, had to get used to it a little bit. It's not inherently, what word do I want? If you're not familiar with the type of game, it could be a little confusing when you first start it. So, and I had to kind of like refine my bearings to the point where like I was like, okay, I'm not figuring out how to do this first part. I need to like look up something real quick. And then once I realized how simple, I was like, oh, okay. It started kind of coming back to me because I have played old school games like this on like the DS years and years and years ago. So
I haven't played anything like this since Shadowgate 64.
it's probably about the same time frame. So
Bruh. That was a while ago.
yeah.
Shadowgate was sick, though.
So yeah, it's been a long time. So the things I want to kind of emphasize on, I think the art style is pretty good. I like the design of the game in that regard. The characters are all very unique looking, which I like, and they all have very different personalities. The voice acting is good for the most part. It's a little cheesy at times, but like
I don't think it's necessarily even bad, but it's not good.
yeah, I don't think
It could be
it's-
worse.
I don't necessarily think it's the voice acting as much as like they probably didn't have the budget to like have someone sit there and direct it, like.
When I believe they
very
did the voice
intently.
acting after the fact. Like, I think the game came out and didn't
okay,
have
okay.
voice acting. And then I think when they re-released it as this, like, bundle or whatever, they had added full voice acting.
Yeah, I mean, I played it in English and I've seen it in
think.
Japanese, and both sounded good to me. So that was pleasant. A lot of times one is good and the other's not. And yeah, you go through and you essentially hit different checkpoints, and those checkpoints give you an ending by the time you get there, and you need X amount of those for a true ending, and there are half of them are joke endings. So it's not a one and done game, which I don't mind because it does add replayability. Also adds a depth to, I guess, the story's being told, because you get to see different like aspects of it and you get to learn more of it as you go through. It has a system where like you can like play a section like partway through after the first playthrough as well, so you don't have to start all the way from the beginning, which I really appreciate, because then if you want to explore those other paths, you can literally just start where the path splits. And Yeah, I think there's a lot of good ideas here. Some of the complaints I have is the puzzles go from okay to you gotta like math. And
Big hurdle for me.
I'm not necessarily opposed to math, but I don't find that to be an enjoyable gameplay mechanic. To give an example, even, I love Final Fantasy XIV. If you're not new to the channel, you know that. There are a couple boss fights where math is involved, and I think it's not fun. I'm glad they tried something, but it's not fun. So yeah, I don't think it's a good gameplay mechanic. Other than that, for the most part, I mean, I had a pretty alright time. I only played through one ending. I want to eventually go back, but it's not a game I can just play. I have to be like very much in the mindset to do so.
Yeah. And you got one of the endings,
Yes.
you said. How'd you like the ending?
Well, because
What's the name for people who are watching who know the endings? What's the name of the ending without saying what
I'm
happens?
pretty sure it's Coffin.
Coffin ending. Okay.
Yeah. Which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is also the path you take for the true ending once you get enough of the proper endings, because it's got a weird system like that. So, yeah.
And you enjoyed the experience with the game.
The storytelling I had fun with.
Yeah.
I
think the story's cool.
It is actually pretty intriguing, and they kind of have fun playing with some real life things while making them very fantasy based as well. So it's a neat blend of the two. So because it has a lot to do with the thing you're on, and then it also kind of adds in elements of how do I word this? I'll just say Egypt. So, which was really a weird curveball, I thought. So,
yeah, I outside of the puzzles, I almost felt like I was just kind of watching an anime. So that was interesting.
with decisions.
Yeah. Let's jump over to Chris. Impressions.
So, playing this game, the first thing that stuck out to me, besides the weird menu being very reminiscent of like a 90s Sega game,
It was a DS game.
the voice acting. Really felt like it was kind of phoned in for me. It felt like someone had taken this project from a major company and did their own like at-home voice dubbing to it. It seemed kind of cheesy to me. I got over it eventually playing through the game. I played through all the game. I got one of the endings. I don't know the name of it off the top of my head.
Axe.
Okay, axe ending. I got the axe ending.
Okay. Whatever you say.
I caught your stream, so.
Beyond that, I felt like the game was full of nothing but a bunch of either cliche mystery tropes or cliche anime tropes. And with that, it was really easy to figure out kind of what was going on with each character,
Especially
as well as, like,
Snake Eyes.
yeah, as well as like what was going on with the story for the most part. The puzzle, it really is just reminiscent of a point and click adventure game with some extra dialogue added to it. And in that, it got to the point where if I couldn't figure out what's going on in the room, I would just wave my mouse across the screen a lot and just click everywhere until I found something I needed to do. I didn't find too much trouble playing this game. The most trouble I had was any kind of like moral decisions I had to make and my own personal feelings of what I should do morally. And I would just be like, it's just a game, whatever. Take it off. Go. You go there. You do this. I don't care what happens. And it's nice that they have like the branching paths so you can go out back and experience different story things, elements, things like that. But I really didn't feel the desire to go do that again. That's pretty much all I have.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with a lot of that. The voice acting is interesting because it's not good, but I don't think it's horrible either, considering that some of the characters actually emote. They'll actually like yell and stuff like that, and it's pretty much like cheesy anime voice acting, but it's not like House of the Dead 2 voice acting where people are like, "No, G, no." Like it you know, they're actually it's I don't know. Out of 10, I'd give it like a 4 or 5 out of 10 on
Yeah.
quality. So I get where you come from. It does sound a little cheesy, but it is an older game, so I kind of give it a pass, even though they added it later. And I definitely think the different voice actors per character all come in at different levels. What's her name? June. Her voice actor, I think, was horrible. I'll just use that.
One of them was the voice actor from Ghost in the Shell who played Bato.
Oh, really?
What is the character's name? Yeah, it's the same voice actor. I was like, that's Bato. I know that voice like the whole time. It's very distinct.
Yeah, just the girl who's like, "Hey, Jumpy," like, her voice drove me fucking nuts. The guy who played Junpei though, I don't think he was that bad. I don't think he's like that great either, but he didn't bother me so much. But yeah, and then the guy who played Nine in general, that's my favorite character of the whole game. I like how it's like, "What's your name?" He's like, Don't worry about that. I got a plan." And they're like, "What's your plan? Do you really want to know?" They're like, "Sure." And he just fucking goes nuts. I'm like, okay. And then he goes in the room. He's like, "Ah!" Oh my god, that part's ridiculous. Jump into my impressions. I'm gonna be clear and transparent about this. I did not beat this. I played it. I don't know where to say I played it to. I played it a little over halfway through a playthrough, but running into struggles wanting to continue to play it gameplay wise, but storyline wise I was intrigued. So as disappointed as I am in myself, and you can be disappointed in me as well if you're watching this, I watched the rest of it on a playthrough on YouTube. This is something I have almost never done, but this is also a game type that I don't play ever, and so I really wanted to know what happened next, but I didn't want to play it. So I ended up watching it, and I got the video I watched ended with the submarine ending, which I thought was very interesting. But from what I did play and what I've definitely seen, I think it was cool to visit this kind of game. This is not a type of game I ever play. Like I said, the last time I played a game even similar to this was Shadowgate 64 back on the 64. I also played the Game Boy version. And then maybe Myst. On that, I really don't play games like this. And obviously those aren't even the same as this. They're still point-and-click adventures, though. So it's cool experiencing it. This game just starts you out right in the beginning with a hectic situation with crazy music. This game's got a crazy soundtrack. I kind of like how crazy it is, but it gets very repetitive quickly. And yeah, the puzzle actually made me think, which is kind of nice, because I'm used to nowadays puzzles being kind of like, they just kind of hold your hand and walk you right through it. So for a split second, I had to go, okay, this, that, and this. Every puzzle after that actually had me thinking, which is interesting. Problem is, I'm not a big puzzle guy. Obviously, I can figure them out, but I don't enjoy solving puzzles. I don't get a sense of enjoyment when I finish them. I feel like someone just made me waste my time, which is, to each their own. Of course, if you're into puzzles, this is really going to do it for you. I would definitely, I don't want to get into recommendations already, but I would definitely recommend people who want a game that you're solving things and get enjoyment out of that to play this. But yeah, so that part wasn't that great for me. The choices are interesting, and mostly the story, and oddly how I kind of enjoyed the simplicity of moving pictures and voice acting, to the point where I wanted to continue at least the story and find out what happened. Similar, like I said earlier, it kind of feels like I'm watching an anime, and then it's like, hey, do a puzzle, which is really interesting. I don't know if I'm super sold on these kind of games, something I'd want to pursue, but if people had recommendations for me on other games like this, that would be worth checking out, I'd be open to it, because it was a very refreshing and new thing for me to do. The story's interesting. It gets way crazier than I thought it was going to get. It already starts out and you're like, oh, it's Saw. And then it starts getting into, I can't really talk about it, but it starts getting very anime-esque. And I was actually very surprised by that. Even though the characters do have kind of lame voice actors. I think all the characters are very different and interesting and add a lot to the conversations the game does. Try and throw a lot of curveballs at you in the sense of having characters start to doubt each other, doubt certain things, and start to propose questions maybe you weren't even thinking about. There's a character that randomly asks if you're hiding something, and then you're like, "No, are you hiding something?" And they're like, "Well, how many boyfriends do you think I've had?" 18 times 0. And I was like, "What the fuck are you guys even talking about?" Yeah, so that's where the dialogue can go sometimes. Reminds me of anime, in that sense. But yeah, the game is pretty cool. I don't know if I will play it again, just because it's not really my style. But I appreciate almost every single thing about it, and even the things I'm not really into personally when it comes to gameplay, I don't fault it for that because it's a genre that it's just not for me. Where I can definitely detach and pull myself back from that and kind of go, if I was into this, I'd probably be really into this. So yeah, overall story's cool, characters are interesting. I kind of liked, outside of the puzzle aspect, kind of how I just kind of felt like I was watching something, and inevitably I did just watch something. And yeah, pretty cool, pretty interesting, and definitely interested in trying some more. Did either of you play the sequel? I forgot the name of it. There's two games on the game that we bought, and then there's a third game that's on its own. I didn't play the second one. I did not play the third one.
Yeah, I only played the first one.
Do you guys have any interest in playing those?
Yeah, it's more of a matter of priority though. So we'll see
Yeah.
if that actually happens. But I do have an interest.
That was another reason why I made that executive decision to just kind of watch it whilst playing other games, because I just had so many games to play on my plate that I was like, I could just watch this and not have to do the puzzles. And you said no, Chris?
No. Yeah. No. Nope.
You want to know what happens next?
This is a whole month.
Yeah, pretty much. Hopefully June pans out better for you. May was kind of... Watch May win our fucking best month of PlayStation Plus. Anything else you guys want to say on it? It's going to be a real short episode.
I mean, what else can we really bring up? Because we'd be talking about the story at that point, and oddly enough, I still see people like playing this game right now. So like, I don't want to be that guy. So
yeah. Well, not only do I not want to spoil it for people just because you can spoil it for people, but the game is designed for you to unravel. And so it is kind of ruining it for people. So if anybody's like super curious about it, we could always do like a spoiler talk at some point on it. But I do think it's best that we don't touch the story too much because that is the game.
I do think it's worth noting that the first playthrough is about 5 hours. And then each one after that's shorter because you've seen a bunch of the dialogue already and you just get past it. So you can sit through a playthrough in one evening pretty quickly too. So if you are interested, it's like a day. You could figure it out pretty quick. So.
I tried. Chris, I promise I tried. It's not my style of game. Yeah. One last thing I want to add is the game's more mature than I thought it'd be. Like it deals with death and people are saying fuck and like it was interesting. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, I was a little surprised too because especially after the person you mentioned earlier, and then when it actually shows, I was like, okay, we are going there. Okay, neat.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Do we want to jump into recommendations at 26 minutes into this video?
Probably should. I mean, you're just going to be dragging it out otherwise.
Just filler, dude. Let's do some filler. All right. I'll let you guys start with the recommendations since you guys are the veterans of this game.
I think Chris technically played the most, but story-based games is going to be the easy one. Adventure games in the fashion of things like Myst or The Longest Journey, stuff like that.
Novels, visual novels.
The Longest Journey is a far superior game. Um, let's see what else. If you like puzzle games, if you like math, because I know you exist.
There's all sorts of people I talk to, and they're like, "I love math." I'm like, "I don't see you doing math ever."
Yeah, I feel comfortable with math, but I don't like doing it. So,
Especially when I'm trying to just shoot some shit or drive cars into other cars.
if you can appreciate a game that's main focus is storytelling and artwork, I would suggest this because that is definitely the focal point of the whole game is storytelling and the art. I do believe the art is all done by one person, so I don't have their name unfortunately.
It definitely has a style.
Yeah.
And I liked it. It's a good art style. It kind of reminds me of old school anime, which I kind of miss. So everything now is so sterile looking.
Oh yeah, agreed.
What else would I say? You got anything, Chris?
If you like escape rooms or the idea of being in an escape room, you'd probably enjoy this game a lot. If you played old point-and-click adventure games, obviously that's going to be up your wheelhouse. If you like anime tropes in your characters to be like very like the cliche anime characters, then you probably enjoy this. Murder mysteries, if you want to play
Murder
some Agatha
mysteries for
Christie.
sure. Yeah, I was gonna say murder mysteries. If you like the Saw series,
Ace Attorney
yeah.
would be a good example too of a game like this,
yeah,
where it's dialogue heavy choices and whatnot.
choose your own adventure.
Getting old school. Of course, we did say Myst earlier too.
Yeah, I don't know why the fuck I'm bringing that up.
People probably don't even know what that is.
I know I'm here talking about fucking ancient relics and shit. I don't know if I can really add much to that.
It's a pretty hyper specific game.
100%. Yeah. You're either into it or you're not.
If you like a game that your decisions actually make an impact upon what happens, you'd enjoy this.
True.
Yeah. Every decision will eventually lead you to an ending, whether it's a good one or not. So,
Yeah. Anything else? I barely add anything to that. You pretty much nailed all of it, though.
so I don't think there's a whole lot you can do. It's not like we can be like, if you like sports games,
If you like characters named Jumpy,
Junpei.
when I first heard her saying that, I was like, she's fucking calling a guy named Junpei Jumpy. And then later she's like, I call him Jumpy. I'm like, oh, you're doing that on purpose. Weird.
Childhood friend.
I guess. I've got no friends named Jumpy. Let's grade it. Chris, give it a grade.
I'm going to give this a C. It functions fine enough as a game. I played it all the way through to one of the endings, so there was enough to keep my attention. But beyond that, I didn't feel the desire to go back and play it all again.
So C. Okay. Chevy.
Outside of my ability to play it all the time, just because it is to repeat hyper specific, and I really have to be in like the right mental state to play a game like this, I actually enjoyed my time. So outside of the math puzzles, which I can overlook because puzzle games always have something I hate in them anyway. So so I'm actually gonna give it a B minus. I thought it was pretty intriguing, and I would like to go back and play some of the other endings, and I don't think it'd be too hard to pick it back up. So
Yeah. So mine's rough because I want to give it a B minus because I liked everything about it except for I didn't like playing it,
for sure.
which is kind of crucial. I feel like I should want to play the game, but and I'm not a guy who likes to watch people play games. That's not a thing for me. I don't watch people stream shit. I don't like playing people's let's plays or playthroughs. It's not a thing for me. So it's very weird for me to watch. Like I typed in no commentary. I don't want to hear anybody fucking say shit. Just show me the game. So this whole experience was very weird for me. But like I said, I liked everything about it. Makes me want to give it a B minus, but I think I have to give it a C plus just because I did not feel inclined to want to play it. And that's a very weird thing for me because I'll play fucking anything. So it's just gameplay wise, not for me. If it had like less puzzles and just more like choose your adventure type stuff, I think I'd be much more inclined to continue playing it. But the puzzles, though neat and actually make you think, did not. I was not enjoying myself when I was doing them or completing them. So yeah, I'm gonna go with a very strong C plus. I want to go higher, and I would be curious to try the next game and the third game, see if they resonate more with me gameplay wise. But storyline wise, I'd be definitely curious to know what happens there, and possibly watch them be played through if I didn't want to play them myself. So very weird situation for me. This is a rare one. So C plus, C, and B minus. All good grades, all decent grades, especially for a genre that we almost never touch.
Yeah.
So it's very cool, though. I'm glad we did play it because this game would never be on our radar otherwise. So
Yeah.
it was cool to check it out and makes me kind of curious about other games in the genre. So with that, let us know in the comments what do you guys think about Zero Escape, the Nonary games. What do you think about this game, the second game, third game? Is there any of those three that's your favorite game? Do you like the games? Do you not like the games? Have you ever even heard of these games? What's other games within this genre that you would recommend as well? I'm curious. And let me know what you're thinking about in the comments below. That's going to do it for this very short episode of Game of the Month. Reminder, Minecraft is our game of the month for June, so that'll be very interesting to play. But as always, thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this episode. Make sure to check out our other episodes. Check us out on social media and our streams. Links down below. Discord link down below. And Patreon link down below as well. If you'd like to support this channel further than liking, commenting, sharing this video, and subscribing if you're brand new. And we have a Patreon. Did I ever say that? Patreon.
You have a Patreon link down below.
There's a Patreon down there. Oh, iTunes, Spotify, other podcast platforms. Listen to us there. I'm tired and warm. My name's Seth, and this is Chevy, and this is Chris. And until the next episode, which will be Tasty Cast, or maybe some reaction videos because everything's fucking dropping soon. Have a good week, guys, and take it easy.